Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves.
How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for your advanced look at the Hawkeye by Fraction and Aha Omnibus from Marvel Comics. This is the 2023 printing. So, let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. So what we're looking at here is the latest printing of the Hawkeye by Fraction and Aha Omnibus. This is the one that you all voted for, and here it finally is. This book is due out in the direct market and book market on December 19th or 20th, depending on where you get your books. And before going any further, a big thank you to David Gabriel and the fine folks at Marvel for sending us an advanced copy of this omnibus. Now, this is the direct market cover that features Kate Bishop, and it is drawn by Jim Chung. And on the left-hand side is your standard edition cover, and that's the one that's drawn by David Aja. And of course, there is a difference in the spines, but everything underneath the dust jacket is the same. Now, I mentioned that this book was originally printed, and it was. This is the 2015 original printing of the Hawkeye Fraction Aha Omnibus, and here is the 2023 printing. So we'll be doing an internal comparison in a little bit, but I wanted to take a look outside. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at the spines of the books. And for people that are probably wondering, man, that is a thin book. It always was a thin omnibus. There's the Hawkeye logo. It's a little bit lower this time around, with Fraction, Aja, Pulido, Wu, Francavilla, Lieber, and Ham, and Elepolis, and Davis, and Hollingsworth. And then the back of the book, rated T+ to this day. Now, the colors in the back of the new printing look a little bit darker than the colors of the original printing. This one tends to be a little more purplish than this one over here, which actually tends to be a little more bluish. The retail price of this one is $99.99, the original, and the new printing is $100. And you have your favorite Avenger, his favorite young Avenger, their crime-solving dog, Go Team Hawkeye. And of course, that happens to be an internal joke, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But let's look underneath the dust jacket. So there's the bullseye, and over here, same designs, looking a little bit bluer than purple. And then the flaps. Everybody loves Hawkeye, the creators, which we have a lot of creators here on the right. That's what the flaps look like. But yeah, the design of the book is still that bullseye. Actually, no, it feels a little like, maybe it's just me. Little rougher, not smooth like the original printing. But I mean, it's not that like that adds anything. And we'll be doing an internal look here in a second, comparison rather, to the original printing. So we're going to crack this book open, talk about what's collected in here, check out the artwork, and then of course give you the pitch. What is Hawkeye about? Why do so many people love it? Why were so many people wanting this book to be reprinted? And it finally is here. So let's take a look inside of this together. Alright, let's go ahead and get this book open. You have the purple end sheets. Of course, this is all the colors that Hawkeye uses for his costume, and it is a little simplified during this particular time. So here's the Hawkeye Omnibus, written by Matt Fraction, and then what David Aja and Matt Hollingsworth worked on together, which is issues 1 through 3, 6, 8 through 9, 11, 13, and 15, 19, and 21, and 22. So David Aja didn't draw the entire thing, but he is the artist that drew the most Hawkeye in this omnibus. You also have Javier Pulido, Steve Lieber, Francesco Francavilla, Chris Elepolis, and Annie Wu as the other artist. And collected in this particular omnibus is Hawkeye, the 2012 series, 1 through 22, annual number 1, and then Young Avengers Presents number 6, which is exactly how this book kicks off. And it is a quick reintroduction to the character of Kate Bishop. And that's always been the thing about this book. Like, when people talk about this book, they always think, oh, it's Clint Barton, he's Hawkeye during this time, he's living a simple life, this isn't about big superheroics, but more focused on the everyman Avenger. Sort of, because it also features Kate Bishop heavily, and this reintroduces you to the relationship between Kate Bishop, known at this time as Hawkeye, and Clint Barton, known in this Young Avengers Presents issue as Ronin. And you can find out more in the pages of New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis when that omnibus is reprinted. But this sets up their relationship, who she is, and what kind of mentor role he is playing. And then we move on to the ongoing series, which kicks off with issue number 1. The covers are collected in this frame, like so, with the issue number on the top left, and then, of course, the cover art. And every issue starts about the same with, okay, this isn't looking good, or this is a bad idea, or this looks bad, something like that. And it looks like Hawkeye is being hurt a lot through here, and you're feeling that pain. And of course, most of it because it's illustrated by David Aja. So in this story, it kicks off with Clint Barton getting thrown off a building, coming out of the hospital in a wheelchair 6 weeks later. And then we fast forward a little bit where he's taking this dog to the vet clinic and he's asking them to fix the dog. And we see exactly what's happened in a series of flashbacks. Long story short, oh my gosh. Long story short is that Clint Barton ends up helping out his neighbors in this apartment complex. He ends up buying the apartment complex because the tracksuit mafia, as they're known, these guys that end each sentence with bro, believe me, you're going to end up saying bro after this omnibus is over. They're all working for their boss, and the boss wants to take and buy this apartment building, and Clint Barton's like, no, here's all the money, I'm going to buy it, let these people stay. And that's one of the things that makes this particular story so interesting, is that we're not dealing with Ultron, we're not dealing with Kang the Conqueror, or dealing with Doctor Doom, or Ramatut, or Graviton. I can't believe I went with Graviton as an Avengers supervillain, but you get the idea. And that's not to say that you're not going to see Avengers villains play a role through here, because you are going to see some cameos, and you are going to see some other Avengers. So when he ends up buying the apartment complex, the tracksuit mafia doesn't like it. It's this Russian mafia, and so they like want to buy it back, and when he refuses to sell, well, they go at it in the only way they know how. A dog gets involved, and he gets hurt along the way, so he takes it to the vet, and that is Lucky. And that's Pizza Dog, as a lot of us have come to call him. And that's two of the main players. The third main player is this young lady right here, and this is Kate Bishop, also known as Hawkeye during this time. So Clint Barton is now Hawkeye, and so is Kate Bishop, and together they're just trying to live this normal life outside of the Avengers. She's with the Young Avengers, and he's with the Avengers. This also deals with things that would happen to superheroes in a very realistic way. Like, he's losing his hearing because of a lot of the things that he has dealt with over the years. And honestly, a lot of this was what they borrowed heavily for the Disney Plus show. We're going to see his brother show up through here. We're going to see the swordsman show up through here. Actually, Clint's brother plays a huge part through this. There's an amazing car chase scene. I didn't even mention that, but it's this really awesome car chase scene where you get to see him actually use his trick arrows, like the Bola arrow, the Grease arrow, all these little trick arrows that you've known him to use in the past. It's goofy, it's quirky. This is what a lot of people really enjoy about this book. It's that it's so down to earth, it feels so realistic, the characters feel like real people. There is a strange woman that comes into his life, but she's not the only woman, because we are talking about Clint Barton. This is a Javier Pulido issue where he gets taken in by S.H.I.E.L.D. because there's this tape that's going around, and I promise I'm not going to talk about each issue. One thing you're going to see through here is that, yes, it's kind of like a buddy cop type of story, but more and more you're going to see Kate Bishop end up just rolling solo, and Clint Barton dealing with issues in the apartment. There are some great issues in here. Let me point a couple out. Issue number 6 happens to be one of my favorite ones, just the way that it's drawn, the layouts. and it breaks it down by days of the month of December. So it's a Christmas story, so everybody should go out and get this book if they haven't read it. This is one of my favorite ones, and especially the way that it ends. And then, of course, how could I not talk about, everybody's expecting me to talk about Pizza Dog, but I'll get there. Issue number 17 is awesome because it's all told through the perspective of Pizza Dog as Clint falls asleep watching a cartoon. So it kind of focuses on the character of Pizza Dog done in this very cartoony art style. Of course, I want to talk about Pizza Dog, but first let's talk about issue number 8 right here. Which showcases us the kind of women that Clint Barton has been involved with in the past. You have the professional assassin, you have his ex-wife, and you have his girlfriend right here. So you have Jessica Drew, and you have Mockingbird right here, Bobby, and then of course Natasha Romanoff, which is Black Widow. So it's like his work wife, his girlfriend, and his ex-wife all come together as he's getting smooched on by this strange young woman that appeared in his life. You have all these homage covers to those Marvel romance stories. This is a great issue. And then we're introduced to this psychopath known as the Clown. This is Gil that keeps calling him Hawkeye. That's where the joke comes from. This is the Francesco Francavilla story, introducing us to this psychopath known as the Clown. And then the next story, issue number 11, is the Pizza Dog, the Lucky story. This is all focused on the character of Lucky, because Lucky has seen things and he knows things, but he can't speak, right? He can't communicate with Clint. So this is told through his perspective, and it is quite excellent how this is drawn, how this is written. And even when he's listening to words, there's certain words he can pick up because he's a dog, so they pick up on cues, like certain commands and certain words he recognizes, and he's trying to put two and two together, almost like a detective story, but through a dog's perspective. There's a lot of amazing things in here like that. Remember when I said that Clint's losing his hearing? Well, they start speaking in sign language in here, so it's really cool to see those kind of things play out through these particular issues. Now, about halfway through, you're going to have Clint and Kate split up. Kate will go to California. Clint will stay in New York and stay with the apartment trying to solve these problems here. And the story, the overall arc, does involve both of them, and the stories will come together, but the journey there, well, it takes a little bit. And it's both interesting because they're both different type of stories. Kate's trying to live her life in California. There's like a whole mystery of like a whodunit type of mystery. And then, of course, Clint is stuck in New York. Not stuck. He's stuck by his own choice. And these are the sign languages that I was talking about, reconnecting with his brother. And I think that's all I will say about it. There is a reason why so many people love this particular story. And when you read it, you'll find out, why so many people look to this one as a good standalone omnibus. Like, you don't need to know anything about Hawkeye, even if you're coming in from the movies. Let's go back to the beginning. Even if you're coming in from the movies, and that's all you know about Hawkeye, this is a good introduction to the character, because it's a standalone story. There are issues that follow this by Jeff Lemire and then eventually Kelly Thompson, but I mean, I would love for those to be collected in an omnibus format, but honestly, this has a good beginning and a great ending. Now, as far as the extras in the back, we are given some extras. There's only one variant cover because Marvel wasn't doing a lot of variant covers back then. We're getting the art process here, from thumbnails to pencils to inks to partial inks to layouts, and then, of course, the finished inks. And then the color guides here by Matt Hollingsworth. And I love when artists include their playlist, music they were listening to while they were drawing these particular issues. And then the cover layouts right here for issue number 10 and your end sheets. Now let's take a look at the binding. The book has 552 pages. This one is printed at the Mega Printer. While I've got that eye up there, let me get my original omnibus. This one is printed at the Donley printer, and that's what the eye looks like. So let's actually take both of these and do a quick little comparison. Alright, let's go ahead and get it open. A little bit darker in the new printing than the 2015 printing. And let's talk about the paper stock first. So the paper stock for these particular Omnis, my goodness, oh gosh, this is gonna be hard because it almost feels identical to the thickness of the original. You can probably tell that they both have bleed through. Like, I'm serious, it almost feels identical. Like, maybe even a no. I'm just gonna play it safe and say that it's the same kind of thickness on the paper. So you can see bleed through when it's light pages here in the Donnelly printer from 2015, and then bleed through over here from light pages and white pages in the 2023 version. And it looks the same. Like, one is not better than the other. So let's talk about the way the book lays over here in a second. So yeah, you can see some of the art bleed through from the other page. It's minor, but I know that some people are bothered by it, and yeah, I stand by my statement. It's about the same thickness here. So let's look at the Pizza Dog issue, because it's the only one that I can think of that has some spread pages. So honestly, even the way that it lays over looks the same, with the same kind of minor gutter loss on both of these. Colors are just a little bit darker in the new printing, but the same type of bleed through happening on both of them. 552 pages. The new printing is $100. The original $99.99. But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this omnibus, don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltzcomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And that was the content and page count and build, and of course the comparison to the original one. Now, if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you would love to see a continuation of the series with the Lemire and then the Kelly Thompson run, all in one omnibus, I would love to know all of that in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.